Hi, I'm going to demonstrate in this video how the Paracetamol Toxicity Calculator works and highlight some of the new changes as of October 2021. So you would have been familiar with the old one, and the new changes include a new logo and some inbuilt changes to the way calculations are done, but also to navigate to the new high dose N-acetylcysteine dosing for levels that are double toxic. So as you can see here, it's a simple matter of entering the measured level of paracetamol, and it's important to note the units of micromoles per litre, which is what we currently use, the number of hours in between the sample and the time of ingestion, and then the calculations occur here. So for this screen here, you can see that a level of 800 at 4 hours, it says that at 4 hours post-ingestion, the predicted toxic level is 1003. So if we go down to 4 hours, the predicted toxic level is in fact 1003. And this is the measured level of 800 is at 80% of the predicted toxic level. So therefore, it falls below the treatment line. And you can see that there's no option here for getting N-acetylcysteine dosing form. However, if the value changes to say 1153 at 4 hours, all of a sudden you now get the calculation that the measured level is 115% of the predicted toxic level and is therefore above the treatment line. Once it says here above the treatment line, then a link appears for get the N-acetylcysteine dosing form. Below here, there's also some interpretation assistance. So when this field here says it's above, then N-acetylcysteine is required. If we turn it back to 800, it says below, and below is treatment not required. When the level is just below the treatment line, it'll say the measured level is 95% of the predicted toxic level and is therefore just below the treatment line. And then it produces the link to the N-acetylcysteine form if the clinician feels it's necessary that treatment be started. And this has been introduced to a level of about 90% predicted toxic level to allow for miscalculations and estimations or inaccuracies of time of ingestion. The new changes, however, occur at a level of almost twice toxic level. So if we put a level here of 1950 at 4 hours, it says that the measured level is now 194% of the predicted toxic level and is therefore twice toxic. Now this isn't strictly speaking correct, it's just below twice toxic, but I've set a threshold of 190% to allow for margin of error. So once the twice toxic level label appears, then a new button appears, a new link to the high dose N-acetylcysteine form. So we'll just demonstrate what occurs if the level is just toxic. So we'll get the form. You have to click allow to allow the link to be opened if that appears, and the new form will appear. So here you can put in the patient weight, and you can see that the calculations of how much N-acetylcysteine is required. So 14,000 milligrams or 14 grams is required, or 70 mils of the N-acetyl-15 solution. Now if you don't want to use normal saline, then it's easy to just change the fluid by typing in the fluid that you want and then printing off the form. There's a reset button here, and that will make everything blank again. There is a limit to how much weight you can put in, and the upper limit of what you can put in is 110. So if you put anything more than that, a pop-up box appears that says the value that they've entered is invalid and therefore must be greater than 15 or equal to 110. And that's because the recommendations are that anyone weighing more than 110 kilos merely gets the 110 kilogram dose of N-acetylcysteine. So what happens now in the if you're more than double toxic, you get a thing that says get the high dose NAC form, and that will again open up the new form. And the new form looks very much like the standard form. However, there's a big warning sign here saying this is a high dose NAC for levels twice the value above the treatment line, and when a weight is entered, the second infusion is now double of the original infusion. So previously the dosing was 14,000 milligrams for the first infusion, and it would have been 7,000 milligrams for the second infusion. However, the second infusion now for those levels that are twice toxic is doubled, so 200 milligrams per kilogram. And that's about it. If you have any questions or suggestions, or if you've discovered some errors, please email me at the email address below. Thanks.